running is a category. There it is, updated. All right, now I can start feeding in the puzzle. So, here, post. Announce that I'm starting this. It says it's been posted. So let's come down here and start getting this thing set up. Apologies for not getting this done at 3 o'clock today. I was sound asleep. I was up until noon day overnight, working and getting Stable Diffusion running on my server, and then testing it, running it through a whole bunch of image generations. And finally at 2 o'clock I said, or at noon I said, nope, I need some sleep. I'm doing a lot of image generation that maybe I shouldn't, but such is life. If you're unfamiliar, Stable Diffusion is an AI image generator. You give it a prompt, basically a question or a set of instructions or design criteria. The software then gets told what model to apply this to and what the characteristics of the image should be other than the specific model. And you then tell it to generate the image, and it creates a image that, depending upon what you specified, may look like a cartoon, it may look like a photograph somebody has taken, all kinds of options. In any case, I think that's long enough. We should start solving this puzzle if it can be solved. So the puzzler says, yes, it's a viable puzzle. So let's put a couple of possible earmarks for ones there and there. That means one of these two is going to be one of these two is going to be one, and all the other ones. All right, one of these two can be a 2. Wide open there, mostly open here. I've got 3 possibilities here, 4 here, 2 here, and now I can go and say, yep, these 5 are all possible. These 5 are also possible, but not these 2. All right, 3s. And we've got 4 possibilities there, 3 down here. Over here we've got 3. Here we've got 2, 3. 2 possibilities here, and that means that neither of these can be a 3, so that's going to be a 3. That's not. It doesn't affect these 2 though, so those are still options. Up here we've got 4 possibilities for 3 at the moment, and we've got 4. All right, 4. We've got a solve of a 4 there. One of these 2 is going to be 4. One of these 5 is going to be 4. Down here we've got a solved 4, so that solves this 4 and reduces Actually, it says this one's going to be a 4. Reduces this square to just those two possibilities. We've got two possibilities here, and 4s are now either earmarked or marked. 5. We've got a possible 5 here and here. 4 possibilities up here. 4 possibilities here. Three possibilities. And up here we've got 4. Here we've got 4 possibilities. Like, and it looks like I've got all these possible here. All right, 6s. There's 6 there, and looking over the board, that appears to be the only 6 on the board. So we get 3 possibilities here, and here. Over here, we've got 4 possibilities, and 4 possibilities here as well. Everything else is wide open for a 6. Could be any of them as a 6, and we'll get that kind of narrowed down here in a little bit, because some of these options obviously can't be 6 at some point. Not if we're going to solve it, right? All right, 7s. I've got 3 possible 7 here, 3 here, 4 here. Well, here we've got wide open on 7s. Here we've got 2 possibilities. Over here we've got 4. And here we've got 3 possibilities. Down here we've got 2 possibilities. All right, on to 8s, where I've got 3 8s on the board. One of these 2 is going to be an 8. I've got 4 possibilities up here. 4 possibilities in this square. Down here we've got 3 possibilities. 2 here, which means this is not a possibility anymore. And 4 up here. Anything else? I'm just doing a visual on each of the squares to see if there's an 8 marked in it. They all look good. So now we come down and we've got a 9 here. 4 9s on the board. One of these 2 is going to be a 9. 3 is going to be a 9. These 3 will be a 9. I've got 3 possibilities here. I solve here, so that takes 2 of these possibilities off, solves that one, takes 2 of these possibilities off, and solves this one. So down here, neither of these 2 can be a 9, so that's going to be a 9. Means all the 9s are solved. All right. So every square should have at least 1 digit in it. I'm going to do a quick check to see how many I've just got to. And actually, I see something interesting. I've got a 1 6 pair here, so neither of these can be 6, and this cannot be 6 either. In effect, anything down here except this 6 3 pair means neither of these can be a 6 or a 3. That turns this into a 5, this into a 1. This cannot be a 6 anymore, so it's a 1. That becomes a 6. This cannot be a 5, neither can that. This is now a 3, not a 2, 3, and a 1 up here. That becomes no longer a 3. 7 8 7 8. Okay, nothing really useful there yet. Let's clean up some of the other stuff and maybe just make some discoveries there. 6 pair doesn't affect anything in the row, but does that, and these 2 can't be 6s or 5s for that matter, but none of them work. One is a singleton 2, so we'll mark it 2, turns this into an 8, this into a 7, and this into 1. this is no longer a 2. Clean up some of these others as well. Anything else up here? Well, maybe, but not quite to me yet. All right, I'm going to triplet in this square, 5, 6, 5, 2, 5, or 6, 2. Don't see them interacting directly with others. And 7, 5, 7, 5, 6, 2, or 5, 2, 2, 6, 3, 6. Okay, nothing really useful there. 5, 6 doesn't interact here. Excuse me. The 5 or the 6 will interact here, but they don't exclusively yet. 5, 6, 8, 8, 6, 8, 6, 2, 8, 3, 6, 2, 4, 8, 6, 4, 8, 7, 5, 7, 6, 6, 3, 6, 3, 7, 8, 7, 8. 7, 8, 2, 7, 8. All right. One of these, yep. Not helpful there. Until I get this one cleaned out, as it can't be an 8. We're not going to be able to do anything with this. Or one of these two is an 8, affecting this one. So. And let's not jump to any conclusions there. Just because something could be something doesn't mean that we should be working off of that as an assumption. Just that if a couple of things are the only things available for something to be a solution, they might affect something else. Now, we are at the point where I do what I call punting. I'm going to quickly check some of these quads, though, to make sure I don't have one where something requires attention to clear something up. For example, if there's this 7, 5 and there was one other with both a 7 and a 5 in it, for example, like the 7, 5, 6, if there was a good reason that this couldn't be a 6, that might affect these others. But so far, I'm not seeing anything. Here we go. 7, 5, 7, 5. So not a 5, neither 5 nor 7. That becomes 4, 3, 4, 8, 8, 3. That's one triplet, and a pair here is 7, 5. Okay, this 8, 4 doesn't interact with anything specifically other than the 8, 4, 6, but that not a blocker. So now we can go through and say, if we take, or let's go through and hunt, starting in the bottom square, bottom closest lower, say that's 2 here. So that turns this into a 6, 8, 4, 8, 4. That can't be an 8 anymore, so it can't be 6. This becomes a 5, 6, not a 6, 7, 5, 7, 5. 2 down here. This becomes an 8, not a 2, 6, 3, 6, 3. Nothing affected there, not a 6, 5 here. Makes this into 7, 5, 7. 8 over here turns this into 4 and 8 up here. 3 here. 4 as a result. 5 here, 6 here, 2 and 8. Oh, and we got a blocker down here. So, backing off down to that 2 down here. Say instead of a 2 there. Let's put a 2 here. That means I've got 8, 6, 8, 6, so this becomes a 3. 5 here, 7, 8, 6. Got a pair of 8 4s here, so this becomes a 5. This is a 6 now. 8 here, 6 here, and that turns that into a 2. Here we've got a 3 and 6. 7 here. 8 here, 5, and this turns into a 2. Becomes an 8, 7 here. 2 here, 6, 5, 3, 7, 5, 3, 7, 5. We'll go back to. Here we've got a 5, so now that's a 7. 5, 3, 5, 3. Again, we come back to that. That becomes a 4. This is a 3. Now this is a 5 and a 3 here. 6 here, 7. 8 up here turns this into a 2. This becomes an 8. A 4 here. And we finish up down here with a 5, 6. And that solution took us 11 minutes and 16 seconds today. I will post the official solution from the Sudoku Store 1000 or Sudoku 1000 hard puzzles, as well as posting tomorrow's easy puzzle in just a few minutes. I'm doing all that on Blue Sky. You're welcome to join. Look for me, rusty.zcx.cc, or look for the Sudoku Store on Blue Sky, and